Hi, Gemini. How are you doing? So we're going to talk about Pluto for you, and it's moving into a new sign, Aquarius, and into a new part of your chart. We'll talk about what that will mean uh, in real time. Well, I'm not going to give you like a calendar, but just on the ground, boots on the ground. What does it mean to have Pluto in this new area of your chart in Aquarius? So the first thing I want to make clear to every sign is this transition of Pluto from one sign to another will not be like the one that took place in 2008. So if you think back to your life, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, and then since then, everything since then, um, you know, don't look back there to see what will happen or the area of life where it impacted you, because it won't be the same. Look to more the transition that you've gone through over the past 15 years. Look at how radically different your life is now, and the parts of your life that changed the most. Think in terms of your home, your financial security, how much you travel, kids, love life. Just think of all the things that have just radically changed since 2008. Things that you never could have envisioned in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2000. So things that you were afraid of back then got totally overhauled and are completely, for most of you, much stronger. You've got a strong foundation. And for most of you, this will link to your finances and your financial well-being. So money, you had a lot of money fears back in the years I mentioned when Pluto went into Capricorn. Money became suddenly a dark, scary pit. And I laugh with you because it's over. And that will not happen again. That is not where your life is changing right now. In fact, what I want to drive home is that most of you are going to feel so much stronger around your finances. And your fears around money aren't at all what they were way back then, or even over the past 15 years. You've come a long way there. So that area of life is like taken care of. It doesn't mean you won't have to work for money or manage your money well. You do. You've got to just own your money and take responsibility for your money and your spending and, your jobs. Like, that's all still under your control. But the same kind of pit of fear that you were feeling back then is not here now. And so that's the good news, really. And again, this cycle of Pluto is not going to go back in time and hit that same area. No. And so it's going into a new sign, which is diametrically opposed in many ways to Capricorn. So Capricorn's is very heavy energy. Capricorn even has an element of fear kind of inherent in that sign. It's fear of, losing reputation, what people think of you, and, what if I lose everything? Psychologically, it can be kind of dark. It doesn't mean that the past 15 years were all dark. Obviously not. Pluto also cycles. It has a cycle to it. So you had moments of great joy and lightness, but also some darkness that would come back around. And, this is also a very psychological place where Pluto was. It's moving on. So now what's happening is Aquarius is not an earth sign. It's an air sign. So Capricorn is like the earthiest of the earth signs, meaning it represents things deep into the ground, deep underground. And that is like the heaviest gravity, the densest materials. Aquarius is the exact opposite of that. It's the lightest materials, the lightest gravity. It represents space, outer space, and flight. And so it's about defying gravity, overcoming gravity. And it's very different in terms of what it represents and what it feels like in your body and your mind. Totally different energy. So Pluto's there. You can tell things are going to transform, and there's focus and maybe even some fears where Pluto is, but the energy is totally different. So rather than kind of turning inward and having deep psychological angst, as you did possibly around money, this is not about money, this new area of your chart. And it's not this turning inward and, the deep depth psychology. It's more out in the world. It's more questing. This is the area of your chart where you're kind of questing for something new. You're questing for meaning in life. So you're on an adventure in this area of the chart. Aquarius is very good here in this particular area. It's kind of a nice area to have this happen. But some of your questing is going to be out of fear. So you want to keep an eyeball on that, because making decisions solely based on fears they're usually not the best. Sometimes, if your life is truly in danger, maybe it is a good time to act out of fear because you want to save your life or whatever. If a lion is rushing at you, you're scared, so you run, or you hide, or you climb a tree, or whatever you do. That kind of reacting from fear is okay. But making all your decisions out of fear, arguably not good. Usually we can see this in other people really well, and it's harder to see in ourselves. So you want to keep an eyeball on your own fears. How much are they governing what you do out in the world, and how you develop your thinking and your philosophy and your politics and spiritual life. These are all areas governed by this part of your chart. So you don't want to develop something as important as your spiritual life and your philosophy based solely on fear. Everyone knows, just you kind of have a gut sense that's probably not the best way to go. Really, you're looking for inspiration. And to have inspiration, you have to be able to confront your fears, identify fears so that you're not, you don't want to be inspired by fear. So it's a lot of understanding what it is to be on a quest, confronting your own fears, and making brave decisions, not fearful decisions. Bravery is the opposite of fear. And love is the opposite of fear. So making loving, brave decisions is kind of what I would add the word loving, because some people misunderstand what bravery is. They think it's just fighting or something, being willing to attack or punch someone or take a punch. That's not bravery. That is not bravery at all. In fact, in Aquarius, that's not going to work very well. This is really about the ideas and your what inspires you, how you inspire others. If you want to use fear to inspire others, it won't go well in the long run. Pluto will just kind of run over you like a wrecking ball or a juggernaut. I want to say that correctly, juggernaut, right? It'll just kind of steamroll you. So you want to find a way to be inspired and inspire others. You don't have to do this on a world stage. You don't have to do this on some big stage under the spotlight, but this is sort of more where Pluto is taking you. It could look like anything. This may be in your business, like if you're in marketing or writing or broadcasting, the film industry, news networks, universities, institutions, institutes where there are places of learning, not institutions such as you're locked in an institution, but institutes, that are idea-based. So if you work somewhere like that, then that is what Pluto is going to be working on. It's also a very international area because way back in the day, many thousands of years ago, if you could travel, if you could travel far, you probably had some degree of money and you were learning so much, traveling away from your home, really traveling far afield from where you were born, was a way of learning about the world. The world opened up to you. So just as much as this area represents maybe higher degrees, some of you may be going to get higher degrees, or teaching in an like in a college setting, a university setting. I want to move away from the word institution. So some of you may be in a university setting somehow, whether you're teaching or learning, and but some of you may be going kind of global somehow. You may be making some big decisions about possibly living internationally or just traveling a lot. Maybe your business takes you there. There may be something to do with real estate where you make a real estate big sale and maybe a buy. So for some of you, it may be you're buying a place far away or selling a place far away. And so that could come up. But mostly it's just the world of ideas, the bigger ideas, bigger quests, finding meaning in life. That's going to be a big focus for you guys, whether you want it to be or not. And it's a beautiful time to develop your presentation skills, like speaking, writing, in whatever field you're in, speaking and writing. As a Gemini, you're already very talented here. This is an area of your expertise anyway, but you could definitely gain power here. It's the power of the pen. And so use your pen well and work to inspire rather than, you don't want to use the pen as a sword. I know that's preferable than an actual sword, but Pluto's a little moody around how you use power. Pluto has a lot of power. It's a big deal when Pluto is on the move. And the consequences for you will be much better if you use your pen to inspire, lift people up with the pen, or your voice. It could be your voice, your presence, rather than using your presence as a sword to inspire fear. So, because Pluto, it does have a punishing aspect. So it wants you to be responsible with the gifts that it gives you. You are very gifted already in your communication skills. And so Pluto would like you to use them at the highest level, not the lowest level, because Pluto will kind of reflect back to you and give back to you what you're giving out. So if you're trying to hurt people with your voice or words, Pluto is going to come back to haunt you. If you want to inspire and help people with your thoughts, your ideas, inspiration, words, voice, presence, Pluto will help you strengthen all of that. And at the end of 20 years, it's just, you leave this beautiful legacy and you have all this kind of developed power there, even more so than you already have. You already have so much power here. And Jupiter's in your sign right now. So this is a great time to use those gifts because you've got a lot of support from the universe. Pluto does have a reputation of kind of dashing, crushing things and then building things. It did more of that in Capricorn because Capricorn already has some of that spinning around in its energy field. But here, some of your ideas or hopes or dreams could have been crushed or feel crushed at some point early in this transition. And so now Pluto can help you kind of come to life again with stronger ideas, better belief systems, frameworks to guide you in your life and maybe to guide others. I don't know. But so even sometimes if you feel crushed under the weight of disappointment or your ideas and dreams are dashed at some point, which in over 20 years, that happens to all of us, so it's likely it's not going to be the whole 20 years, but from time to time you may feel that way. Just remember there's a lot of regenerative power here to be born again, so to speak, and to come to life again. So there's this great regenerative power that you're going to have here. So you won't stay, if you ever feel like you've lost your way or you don't have as much hope, your ability to regenerate here and find hope again is very, very strong. And you can help others do the same. So anyway, that is the gist of what will be happening for you. It's going to be an adventure. You're questing now. It's for new heights in your, just kind of in your mind and your heart. And it'll be a 20-year quest that will bear fruit. All right, take care, guys.